storyteller, historian, hellraiser. It's Dave Carter, and this is The Dave Carter Show.
Well, all right then. Hey guys, so we got a lot of ground to cover today. We've got a new administration. They've hit the ground running. I was watching over the weekend Greg Gutfeld on Fox. I don't know if you've seen him before, but he was talking about, and he rolled a video of President Biden signing various executive orders, of which there have been a slew of them. And the President Biden was moving awfully slow, very methodical, but very cumbersome in a way. And Gutfeld referred to the president as President Sloth. Because those animals, they move so slow, they're like Canadian drivers when they go down to Florida. They just get in the left lane and go 10 miles an hour and keep the turn signal on and clog the traffic and constipate the whole flow of things, just gum everything up. But that's not been the case with the new president. For a guy that moves in slow motion, he's wasted no time at all signing a whole lot of stuff, about which more in due course. Maybe that's why he put the kibosh on the Keystone Pipeline, now that I think about it, in addition to getting rid of over 11,000 jobs. Maybe he's going to keep those Canadians up where they are from and keep them from going down to Florida and screwing up the traffic. That may be an ancillary benefit if there are any. But first, folks, I'm Dave Carter, and it's a pleasure to have you here. This is the live stream side of the Dave Carter Show, and I have a new website. Well, the website will all be popping up here momentarily, but I've got new software here called Ecamm Live, and that's what's allowing me to talk to you now. And later on in the next week, hopefully, we're going to do a video version of the podcast, which I'm going to reboot. And it looks like we're going to be able to get, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have Rob Long, who was the executive co-producer of the show Cheers. He should be on, and his mission will be to explain to me why I should not be, he's going to show me the error of my ways, okay? Why I shouldn't be so mordant and morose about how things are going, which I currently am, actually, between job losses and the ambitious retreat of the U.S. from energy independence, not to mention the executive order that's going to allow great big beefy guys the option to participate in ladies' sports, because obviously it's in the best interest of women, don't you see, for society to render the idea and the definition of womanhood virtually meaningless. That just makes perfect sense, right? So there's so much more that we'll get to, but we need a laugh. And to get a laugh, oftentimes I look to Nancy Pelosi and the things that she does over in the House of Representatives. So let's take a look. Let me get over here, and let's take a look and see what they've been up to lately. Here we go. Well, okay, so anyway, we will bring a pause. All right, so we'll bring a pause to that for just a moment. And what that was, of course, that solemn procession that you saw, was various Congress men and women, if you can still say that. I mean, it's not, I don't think you can do that anymore gender-wise, so I'll just refer to them as Congress critters. Can we do that? Well, that's not really fair to critters. Anyway, these Congress folks, fine representatives, were told in the articles of impeachment against former President Trump to the Senate in the apparent hope that they will remove someone who has already left town. Now, the claim is that Donald Trump incited the riot and the incursion into the U.S. Capitol. I have some notes on this. It's an incursion which the FBI has since learned was planned well in advance of January the 6th, which was the day of the riot. Specifically, he's accused of inciting a riot that had already been planned when he said, "I just don't know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be." And then he went on to say that, no, wait, I did that wrong. No, that wasn't. That was Nancy Pelosi's quote. That wasn't President Trump's. I'm sorry, my bad. Okay, so here's what Trump said: protesters should not let up. Okay, this is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop, and everyone beware, because they're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day after Election Day, and everyone should take note of that on both levels. That they're not going to let up, and they should not, and we should not. So. No, wait, that wasn't Donald Trump either. That was Kamala Harris, the new vice president, on the campaign trail talking about Black Lives Matter protests, which mostly peacefully destroyed and did billions of dollars in damage, destroyed government buildings and businesses and burned them down. Business owners were assaulted and police were attacked and even assassinated. But no, that would not be a quote that was be used to impeach her. Of course, that won't happen. So, okay, here's the quote from Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I was mistaken. Directed at the Senate and the House, who were deciding whether to certify the Electoral College count, Mr. Trump said, "quote, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You will not know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions." And so there you have it. And oh darn, that wasn't Trump either. Well, that was the new leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer. And he wasn't threatening the legislature. Actually, he was threatening members of the Supreme Court if they ever decide to make the barbaric decision to revoke a woman's sacred right to dismember her unborn baby. So, by the way, remember back before Bernie Sanders became famous for sitting in that chair and starring in memes all over the place? He was all by his lonesome, right? When he said, this was in reference to efforts to roll back Obamacare with its unaffordable mandates and such, he said, quote, "the Republican health care plan for the uninsured is that you die," unquote. Now, Senator Sanders' hysterics got old James Hodgkinson, who was a Bernie supporter and a Bernie campaign volunteer, so wound up that he opened fire on congressional Republicans at a baseball practice in 2017. You remember that? He nearly killed Congressman Steve Scalise. Shot him. I mean, he opened fire. Rand Paul was there. Did you know that as the gunman, as Hodgkinson was firing on the congressman, he yelled, "This is for health care"? That really happened. Remember at his impeachment trial when Bernie Sanders said that, no, wait, he wasn't impeached. No, well, Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris were promising future protests and unrest and help bailing out rioters who had been arrested. No, they weren't. What about Barack Obama? In 2008 in Philadelphia, he said of Republicans, if they bring a knife to the fight, we bring a gun. And there was no impeachment, of course. And Maxine Waters, she wasn't impeached for saying, quote, "and if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere." No Republicans tried to impeach her, any of them. They didn't censure. They didn't try to hold them responsible for what the unhinged mobs did. Well, I see. But when a planned and coordinated attack unfolds, even as Donald Trump is saying, quote, "I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard," that is quite too much. See, if only he had talked about bringing a gun to a knife fight or releasing a whirlwind so that people won't know what hit them. Maybe if he'd used placid remarks like that, then the idiots and goons who were already planning to storm the Capitol would have changed their mind. See, here's how Senator Rand Paul looked at it on the floor of the Senate.
No Republican has sought to use the government to hold these Democrats responsible for Antifa and Black Lives Matter violence that has consumed our cities all summer, resulting in over $1 billion of destruction, looting, and property damage. Not one Republican said, "oh, let's impeach the Democrats who are inciting this," because it would be ridiculous. Many on the Democrat side of the aisle cheered them on. Kamala Harris famously offered to pay the bill for those who are arrested. I wonder if she'll be brought up on charges of inciting violence for that now that she's vice president. Should Kamala Harris be impeached for offering to pay for violent people to get out of jail who've been burning our cities down? No. And no Republican has offered that, because we're not going down the road that Democrats have decided, this low road of impeaching people for political speech.
Well, that makes sense to me. And it makes sense well, I'll put it this way. It's probably anathema to a great many folks. Look, what I would suggest and what I would respectfully call for is some sense of consistency. Okay, if there should not be one standard for politicians on the left and another standard for politicians on the right. If those on the left made the statements I previously cited and are not charged or censured for incitement of the things that follow, then the standard applies across the board. Is that too audacious? Is that too symmetrical? Well, anyway, that's some thoughts on that. Besides which, we have a few other things to take care of today that'll be a little bit more fun.
Going on now, which gives you an opportunity to go to the bathroom.
All right, folks, now, we got some other things to occupy our mind with. By the way, do you like good coffee? I'm not being paid for this, okay? But this is some stuff. It's called Black Rifle Coffee Company. I discovered this not long ago. And it's veteran-owned and veteran-operated. And these folks are fantastic. The coffee that I have is called Beyond Black. It's really super dark roast stuff. And it's good, man. I've shared a cup of this with the guy that I work with at the store. And he said he couldn't go to sleep till 3:30 the next morning. So it's just really good. I mean, it'll put hair on your teeth, you know. I actually went to go to work the other day, and I got all the way to work, drove to work, and realized I hadn't even started the car yet because I'd had a cup of this stuff. I don't know. It's the back of this mug, I got this Bass Pro Shop. They carry the stuff. Now, like I said, I'm not being paid. I don't need to be paid. These are good guys, and the coffee's fantastic. So go to blackriflecoffee.com. And you can check it out, man. It's good stuff. Make you a pot of it, you know. Tear you off a slice, gnaw on it. It'll be good. It's good for you. It put hair on your teeth and everything. It's good stuff. All right, so anyway, I've already used up more time than I thought I would on the whole impeachment thing, but so I'll tackle some of the other things next time, but including we've got the president's blizzard of executive orders. I was looking back through past presidents. In his first 2 weeks in office, President Reagan issued one executive order. President George H.W. Bush issued one executive order. President Clinton issued 2 executive orders, and President Obama issued 8. President Trump issued 4, and President Biden so far has issued 30 of them, according to CNN. Ben Shapiro summarized the results of the executive orders this way, just a couple of key points. He said that he reoriented the executive branch around woke notions of equity. He ended the Keystone Pipeline, pushed immigration non-enforcement, sided with unions against students on reopenings, and mandated garbage gender theory based on policy. Gender-based policies. That'll be a lot of fun. Oh, yes, and the new Commerce Secretary nominee, Gina Raimondo, I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong. If I am, I apologize. I just seen this. Gina Raimondo is leaving open the possibility of increasing gas and energy taxes on the middle class and folks who can barely afford, they can't afford such an increase, but the administration needs the money for its climate agenda. Congratulations, folks. We're in for quite a ride. And I'll be here to document it, and we'll be here to have a lot of fun with it. I'm just messing with the buttons trying to keep all this going. Anyway, don't forget to keep a weather eye on the next week. We'll be rolling out the video version of the podcast. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have Rob Long on there, and I'll be interviewing some Ricochet members as well. There'll be some other little surprises, and that'll be available on YouTube. It'll be available on Ricochet. It'll be available here on Facebook and elsewhere. So that's all I have for now. I'm looking forward to doing this more in the future and getting a little bit more acquainted with all the controls here. Hope it hasn't been insufferable, at least on a technical standpoint. So I will check in with you guys later. Y'all have fun.